The life I live has been a walk in the park compared to the life of Kion Jones Savage. The magnitude of the struggle he has had to endure at no fault of his own is likely something I will never be able to fully understand or appreciate. While I trek down to his side of Olney Avenue for one class period a week, he lives there 24/7. That place he calls home is very, very different from mine. Given our different backgrounds, it is clear that Kion and I are a little different, but maybe not so different. The topic of his story was the saddest day of my life. For Kion, the saddest day of his life was the day his father was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
When my father was sentenced, I had questions and thoughts like, why did he do it? Why did he have to get sentenced so long? How would I see my younger sisters? When will I be able to see him? Some of my questions were answered, but I feel like there's more to it than what my grandma tells me. I did not find out my father left until 2 weeks after it happened. I found out from my mom. She said, Kion, your dad went to jail again. When he left, I also felt angry because I thought I did not have a dad no more. My dad was sentenced so long.
This is a story no young man should ever have to live through. And yet there before me, I had an 8th grader speaking about such a life-altering experience with maturity and perspective. Having heard his story, I found that we had more in common than meets the eye. It was at this point that I realized I would be sharing more with Kion than critical revisions of his writing. I, too, knew what it was like to be the son of a father who had made harmful decisions, and of a mother who had to raise her children as a single parent. While I may not have lived Kion's life, I was able to understand at least a small part of it.
I wonder who would help my mom with me. Who would I look up to? But I have my uncles, grandpas, and family who's there for me every step of the way.
From that first day at Grover T. Washington on to every other class period spent working with Kion and his stories, I always made it a point to find something about his writing to which I can relate. Whether it's about sibling rivalry or the daily grind of the grade school student, I have been able to impart wisdom from some of my own experiences. Using my childhood as a series of examples, I challenge him to develop his own thoughts and to look deeper at the stories about which he writes. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind when you meet someone new. We may encounter someone who at first seems to be from an entirely different world, and it's easy to point out the physical differences between one person and another. It is safe to categorize things in terms of me and them, separating ourselves from the unfamiliarity that makes us uncomfortable. But doing the easy thing isn't always the thing we end up finding the most rewarding. I'm willing to bet that, in the end, there's much more to be gained by recognizing, embracing, and celebrating both the differences and the commonalities we see between ourselves and others. We just have to be open to seeing it.
I still take care of my little sisters. I also see them when I go over my grandma's house, so it turned out fine for me.